Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Nagaland Conservatory of Music podcast. My name is Lipokmar Tzudir, and I'm the chairman of Nagaland Conservatory of Music. Before we move into the content of this podcast, I want to first take you to who and where we are so that we can better understand the scope and the purpose of this podcast. We grew up in the 90s with the same passion and enthusiasm for music as we see in this age. However, during our time, the opportunities for one to develop their skills or get trained and showcase one's abilities was very limited. And in fact, the elders of that age would discourage music to great extent because of the ill effects that music was contributing towards the youth of that generation. So the possibility of one pursuing music was absolutely not there at all. It was only later that we realized that there is an opportunity for music to be taken or pursued as a career. However, in this part of the world, there were not such platforms or opportunities. So some of us decided that we will have to go the extra mile, go abroad, get the desired music education, and come back and create the opportunities and the platforms that were missing when we grew up. And that's how Nagaland Conservatory of Music came into existence. It was a long cherished dream and a wish for us to present to the generation of this age what we missed growing up. And I can proudly say now that in the last 12 years, we have produced substantial amount of quality musicians who are rendering leadership in this part of the world and in beyond. My dear friends, the purpose of this podcast, therefore, have two primary goals. One is to showcase the amazing storehouse of talents in the world of classical and folk arts. And number two is to make it educational for the viewers to better understand and appreciate classical and folk arts. So we invite you to be partakers in this journey. There's no dearth of quality and skilled musicians in this part of the world. They're just waiting for an opportunity to be appreciated and recognized. And with your support, we will achieve that together. Tonight, being the first episode, we will render the focus on the performance. And we're going to feature tonight with two different styles of songs. First is opera aria and art song, to be performed by a soprano. And I want to first highlight the characteristics of a soprano. The soprano voice is characterized by its flexibility and its range. And in the opera world, there are three different categories of sopranos. First one being coloratura, second one lyric, and third one dramatic. Coloratura is defined by its flexibility in terms of the heights of its range and the thinness in terms of quality. Whereas on the opposite, dramatic is on the thicker side with more drama and with more depth. Whereas lyric will fall into in between these two varying categories. Tonight's featured performer is a coloratura soprano. She is Vinny Asumi. Vinny Asumi is currently a voice faculty here at Nagaland Conservatory of Music. She studied here under the tutelage of Judy Sunolo's Honor and Noel de la Rosa, and she has intensively worked and performed together with them here and in other parts of this country.